listening to the Shared Security Podcast, exploring the trust you put in people, apps, and technology with your host, Tom Eston. In episode 126 for June 22nd, 2020, details on the largest distributed denial of service attack ever recorded, new security features in Dropbox, and the latest on new North Korean targeted cyber attacks. Digital privacy is more important than ever, which is why I use a Silent Pocket Faraday sleeve for my smartphone when I want to completely get off the grid. Check them out for yourself and get 15% off your order by using discount code SHAREDSECURITY at checkout right now at silentpocket.com.
Over 90% of individuals show risky behavior in handling potential phishing messages, according to ClickArmor's free CanIBeFished.com self-assessment. This engaging coronavirus edition of CanIBeFished.com can help identify your team's total vulnerability to phishing attacks that exploit the pandemic situation. So test your own vulnerability to phishing attacks for free now at CanIBeFished.com.
Before I get into the news this week, I want to provide an update on a topic I discussed on the June 8th episode of the show about Zoom offering end-to-end encryption for paid customers only. Well, Zoom announced this week that end-to-end encryption will be available to all users now for those with paid and free accounts. The change came after a lot of public pressure and that they have found a way to get around the user abuse issue that they had concerns about. Zoom users with free accounts will now need to first validate their accounts through verifying phone numbers by text or through several other methods. However, Zoom did not state what these methods are. This is great news for all Zoom users, so be on the lookout for end-to-end encryption to roll out starting in July. Now on to this week's news. First up is a story about how Amazon has mitigated the largest distributed denial of service attack, or also known as DDoS attacks, to the tune of 2.3 terabits per second, which is the largest known attack ever recorded. The attack was focused on Amazon's popular AWS infrastructure, which is used by many corporations and businesses to host their applications and other cloud-based services. Details from Amazon about the attack are sketchy, including who the targeted AWS customer was, but they did state that the attack took place back in mid-February of this year. The attack was identified by Amazon's AWS Shield service, and the attack was apparently carried out by using hijacked CLDAP web servers over a period of 3 days. CLDAP is a newer form of the older LDAP protocol, which is used to connect, search, and modify internet shared directories. The CLDAP protocol has been well abused since 2016, since these servers can greatly amplify attack traffic by 56 to 70 times its initial size. For context, the previous record for largest DDoS attack before this one was 1.7 terabits per second back in March of 2018. If you're not familiar with what DDoS attacks are, well, this is when someone sends thousands upon thousands of requests to a website or service, making it completely unavailable to users. The distributed part of a denial of service attack means that there are multiple systems involved, such as a botnet, or in this case, multiple CLDAP servers. DDoS attacks are popular with nation-states, hacktivist groups, and others that look to either target a specific individual, group, or organization. Check out our show notes for a link to a great overview that provides more details explaining what DDoS attacks are and what the industry is doing to prevent them. Dropbox is one of the most popular online cloud storage solutions out there today, and last week Dropbox announced several new features that are focused on improving how Dropbox data is secured due to the recent rise in COVID-19 remote work situations. Specifically for users of Dropbox Plus, new features now include Dropbox Passwords, which is a cloud-based password manager, Dropbox Vault, which can add extra file-level security for important or confidential documents, and Computer Backup, which will automatically back up a user's Mac or PC to Dropbox for data retrieval and hardware loss, such as a failed hard drive. Dropbox said that these 3 new features are now available in beta to new Dropbox Plus users on mobile right now and will be made available to existing Dropbox Plus users in coming weeks. Computer backup is available for Dropbox Basic and Professional users as of right now. I bring this up because it's really important for everyone to use some type of password manager. With the large popularity of Dropbox, this announcement makes it even easier for people that may have not been exposed to using a password manager in the past. That much easier to start using one right now. I'm also a big fan of having easy ways to back up your computer. Backing up your computer has always been a challenge as there are so many third-party solutions to choose from, and the backup solutions built into our operating systems are really not that great. But backups are hugely important, so it's good to see a popular service like Dropbox getting into the game. And now a word from our sponsor, Edgewise Networks. The biggest problem in security that remains unsolved are flat networks in cloud and data centers, with unprotected attack paths that allow threats to move laterally to cause data breaches. But microsegmentation using network addresses is complicated and takes too much time. But there's a better approach: Edgewise Zero Trust Auto Segmentation. Edgewise is impossibly simple microsegmentation, delivering results immediately with a security outcome that's provable. At the core of Edgewise Auto Segmentation is Zero Trust Identity, which allows workloads to communicate only after their software identity has been verified. Malicious or unimproved software is no longer allowed to communicate. Identity-based protection provides more coverage with fewer policies to make Edgewise simple to deploy and manage. No changes to the application or network are required. One solution protects virtual machines and containers in the cloud and on-premises. To stop lateral threat movement and prevent breaches, visit edgewise.net for a demo and to see results within minutes. North Korean hackers were back in the news last week with the announcement at the ESET Virtual World Security Conference last Tuesday that North Korean hackers have targeted European aerospace and military companies for proprietary or secret information. What I found interesting about this attack was that employees were targeted through fake LinkedIn recruiters promoting made-up positions at competing companies. The victims were sent documentation to open for the fake interview, which was laced with malware, which of course infected their computer. Once this foothold was obtained, the interview process would cease and the faked LinkedIn profile would be deleted. Now that the hackers had access to the company network, they attempted to find accounts with weak passwords to further their access. But the attack didn't stop there. Once these hackers found what they were looking for, they attempted to scam the business partners of the compromised company using BEC or business email compromise scams. In one instance, the hackers had found unpaid invoices in compromised email inboxes and tried to have bank account information changed through phishing attempts. And while this recent incident may seem surprising, this is par for the course when we're talking about North Korean hackers. In related North Korea news, Singapore, Japan, and the US are amongst 6 nations that may be targeted in a COVID-19 themed phishing attack that is scheduled to take place on June 21st. According to reports, 8,000 organizations just in Singapore alone may be targeted, and that could be up to 5 million individuals and businesses in other countries. As we all know, COVID-19 related phishing attacks and scams are running rampant, so be sure to stay vigilant as these attacks from North Korea and others show no sign of slowing down. That's a wrap for this week's show. Visit our website, sharedsecurity.net, for previous episodes, links to our social media feeds, our YouTube channel, and to sign up for our email newsletter. First-time listener to the podcast? Please subscribe wherever you like to listen to podcasts. And if you like this episode, please share it with friends and colleagues. Thanks for listening, and see you next week for another episode of the Shared Security Weekly Blaze.